here. We're live. Welcome, family, and welcome to another episode of Anxious for Nothing podcast. So, today is sort of like a freestyle. I have an episode that I was gonna release, but something is telling me to just freestyle today. So, I'm gonna just do that instead of the one that I prepared because my goal was to get that one released at least by the first week of the new year. So today is Tuesday, January the 6th, and it is 6 p.m. currently in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I am super pumped. I just took a long walk. It was like 2 hours, but it was necessary. And I am prepared to just sort of freestyle with you guys. And as you guys join in on the live, I will interact on this one today. Since I started this podcast, I think I interacted on the very first episode, like the pilot, but I didn't really stick to like talking to people that joined because I'm really like getting the messages out and trying to move it from being live YouTube to just going to the actual podcast platform because I didn't even realize that YouTube had actually upgraded and they now have a specific, they have specific tools just for a podcast. So anyway, instead of going live, I'm going to try that. But I just wanted to welcome everybody into the new year. And I hope that everybody is feeling still motivated, still feeling really, ready for this year. I personally have felt like coming into this beginning of the year was so rough. It was like I was stumbling and okay. And my cat. Say hi, Natiri. Say hi, girl. This is my calico. She's about to be 8 months. I adopted her when she was 5 months old. And she is super active, her and her brother. Oh my God, girl. Don't put your behind all in the camera. But so with that being said, today I didn't want to have any pressure on myself or anything. This is just we made it. We made it through 2025. You made it through your hardest days. Every day that you thought you couldn't make it through, you're here because you're listening to this. And that's a blessing in itself because a lot of people didn't make it over to 2026. And we're alive. We're in the land of the living. That's right there is enough to be grateful for. So I do want to tell y'all what season 2 is going to kind of give y'all a season 2 map, right? So AFN podcast we have right now, this is basically the pilot for season 2. And in season 1, I have 8 episodes. And I believe I told you guys I was going to have 10 episodes, but I ended up putting out the last one that was titled Pause Before You Push. And so something told me to God told me, my inner being, my intuition was like, you know what? You need to listen to this podcast yourself. You need to listen to this episode yourself. Meaning, yeah, pause, baby. You about to literally quantum leap into some dreams. I just feel it. I just know this year is going to literally surprise me. I am always going into the new year very light on resolutions. I don't really use that anymore. I did write down some things and I'm going to share that with you guys, but I got it from Cora Obidi, and she is from the motherland, and she's a dancer and she's a mother, and I'm inspired by her energy, her light, her way of thinking, her compassion, and everything like that. So I'm really excited. Hi, welcome in. And so I wrote everything down. She said she wanted us to write three things, and I sat there randomly on her live writing this down. And I was like, you know what? This is what I'm gonna tell my people. This is what I'm gonna tell chosen ones, or whatever you resonate with, healer, whatever you resonate with. I'm gonna tell my people, and I am going to really, really be consistent this year and see what happens. So outside of the three things that I put on there, before I get into telling y'all about season 2, the map of season 2, I'm going to tell y'all that at the end of what season 2 of Anxious for Nothing podcast is going to be about. But I wrote, let me get it. Let me get it. I wrote three things, but before I tell you what those are, like I said, I already made a few like declarations for myself. Okay. So like for me, it's almost as if in the back of my mind for the past 5 years since I got my divorce, I feel like I have not really stepped all the way out into who I was supposed to become. But of course, we're always becoming. But I feel like I've been holding back, just like a part of me, just like a small part of me. And I feel like I heard somebody say something that turned that around for me with wanting to hold back. Like, I don't want to hold back anything anymore, right? So what I heard was them saying, you know, you holding back and you not coming forth with everything that you are called to do is actually a disservice to those that are waiting for you. Everyone here, everyone listening to this podcast, even right now under the sound of my voice, or, once it is recorded and you guys go back and listen to it, every single person on the planet literally are supposed to become fully themselves. That is literally what we're all supposed to become ourselves. We are all becoming. We are beings. We're not just supposed to be doing, chasing after the job, chasing after the relationship, chasing after the clout. I have known very, very young that like, I'm good. I like to, march to the beat of my own drum. So for me, the first things that I said I was going to do, without even writing anything down, without even getting any ideas from everybody else and what they're going to do into the new year, I said I was going to be completely sober. No alcoholic beverages, no type of drugs either. So it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what pills, nothing, pharmaceuticals, you know what I'm saying? Mary J, anything. I don't want to be a part of that. One, because I know that in my family, we have a history of people that have addictive ways. Like, I don't want to continue holding myself back because I'm wasting time in those lifestyles. It's nothing wrong with the people that indulge, but for me personally, I know that I need to completely wipe that out. So for 365 days, Cece, you can do that. For 365 days, you can do that. For 365 days, we literally can help each other to be accountable and see what we become. What'll happen if I get out of this chrysalis that I've been in and spread my wings and fly like a butterfly. What'll happen if I actually do what I say I'm going to do? What'll happen if I actually am consistent in my endeavors, in my book, in my podcast, multiple books actually, in my streaming, in my, social media platforms? What could happen if I really give it my all? And so that's the reason why I made those personal choices to say I'm not going to drink or smoke or do any of that. The other thing is I am going to be abstinent. No intimacy at all. No physical, sexual, anything. None of that. So for me, that's big. I was married for almost a decade, and I was waking up to a man every day. So, the comfort of another person, could seem like you just get a lot out of it, but really, I've learned how to um, find other outlets for comfort. And usually, when I create something, I feel as if I get this natural high in life because we're all creators. We're all little mini gods. We're all out here like God created everything, and we are literally creating our lives, whether you see it or know it or not. Your subconscious mind is always creating something. So until you bring your subconscious mind conscious, you are going to be just creating stuff and wondering, why is this not making any sense? You got to make every single thought basically line up with the will of what you believe God is trying to like tell you to go. Nobody knows what God's plan is. Nobody, we don't even know what God's plan is for our life. But I do know that in every single season, looking back on it, hindsight is 2020, right? Looking back on every single season that I was in, I was protected. I was divinely protected. I was so covered. And I realized that a lot of times I was complaining and I was like, God, get me out of this fire. But he's like, baby, I got you. Like, I'm in this fire with you, right? So a lot of the times we ask to be rescued instead of, well, if I'm here, what am I preparing for? What is the lesson in this? What am I missing? Because until you actually find that anomaly in your path, you're going to keep circling around. You're going to keep those lessons and everything are going to keep finding you. It's going to be literally the same lesson in a different person. The same lesson in a different job. Sorry guys, I left my notifications on. But I think it's really important to remember that, like, this is Earth school. We're meant to elevate. If you're not elevating and growing and your light isn't getting brighter, what are we doing? Because if you really believe we were here to go and get a mansion and go and get a nice car and get a family and get a man and get a woman or whatever it is that you feel those are the heights of life, that is not the height. That is not. Maybe in the 3D, in the in this physical world, it looks good, but baby, there are people that jumped off of a bridge that had everything they could ever dream of, all the money in the world, all of the fame, and they literally, maybe not jumped off a bridge, that was kind of dramatic, but they unalived themselves. They were depressed for a long time and nobody knew. That's telling me something. Baby, it's something more that we're supposed to get. This is not it. This is not it. It is not just what you see, guys. Life is way more like spiritual, life is way more mental than what the world wants you to get, because it doesn't want you to remember yourself. It doesn't want you to realize that this society doesn't want you to realize that you've been domesticated from birth. And then they send us to school, the schools that they stop praying in, the schools that basically they're shooting in all over the place. They send the children to school. And before you go to school, guess what? You got to get shots. You got to get these vaccines in your body. Matter of fact, when you're born, you got to get vaccines. It's all an agenda. It's all an agenda. And until you wake up and see that and believe that, and you don't believe that this is all conspiracy and stuff, and it's woo, no. They want you to believe it's woo, it's crazy. We are crazy people. No. Wake up. Please. Please wake up. So, with that being said, also, I'm going to share the 3 things that I wrote down. So, what I want you to do is get a pen and paper, get a pencil right now. I'll wait. Get you a little notepad. This says plan. You can't see it because I it's scraped off, but I got this literally from the dollar store. A little notebook. You can just jot down whatever, no lines or nothing, and I just write down whatever in here. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need anything special. Just get something that you can write down on, because writing down things are extremely powerful. This is how we create. If you don't write anything down, if you're not sitting down and you're not processing that stuff that God is downloading in your brain that you think is just random, no, the desires of your heart are on purpose. It's there because on your life path, there's a reason you need to get to that thing that you're desiring so much, because it's a lesson in that. It's something, maybe it's a blessing in that. Maybe it's something that your soul really needs. And until you actually can say, I don't want to be chained to the rhythm anymore. I don't want to get up. Let me tell y'all, I was getting up in 2020, putting on my clothes, my uniform, in the dark, okay, to make sure that my husband can stay asleep. My ex-husband can stay asleep quietly. Because we had a small little house, a little 2-bedroom house, me, my daughter, and him. And let me tell you something. Every single moment I woke up to go put that uniform on, to go to that warehouse, to work those 8 or more hours, every single morning, my stomach was flooded with anxiety. My stomach was flooded with chemicals that my body was creating, okay? Because my body knew that I was denying myself. I was denying what I knew. I knew that I was not in alignment. I knew that that was not what I was meant to do. But I did it for literally almost 2 years straight. You know what happened? I was diagnosed with severe anxiety and depression. I was having ideations, if you know what that means. Didn't want to be here, literally. And I have a beautiful daughter to live for. Let me tell you something. I have not woken up with that feeling in years. I thought that would never go away. And I didn't stay on meds. I'm completely drug-free. I don't have any medications. I don't take anxiety meds. I don't take none of that stuff over the pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. I don't take any of that. You know what I do? I have found a way to connect myself. I connected to myself. I found my own, like, actual needs. I found what I actually needed, not what everybody around me was telling me that I needed. Okay, and what I needed was to be out in nature. So I started to walk. I started to meditate. I started to pray. I started to get my mind right with affirmations in the morning. It doesn't matter what it takes. Beat it in your brain. Beat the positivity in your brain. We literally abuse ourselves all the time with negativity. Why don't we actually imagine things going right? Why do we always just have to, when we take a step, we got to imagine, oh, but this could go wrong and this could go wrong. That's not the way we were meant to live. That's fear, baby. That's living by fear. You're driven by fear. And you know what happens with that? When you don't get rid of that, it stays in your body and it becomes illnesses. It becomes cancers. Because you're not actually being. We're supposed to be, not do. We are human beings. We have feelings. We can't be robots. We can't just go, hustle. I highly recommend you watch the last episode of 2025. Pause before you push, guys. Really think about what you're doing this year before you're just go. I got to get to the money. I got to get to the plan. I got to get to the... Because when you get there, baby, you're going to be fried. Okay? You're not even going to be able to enjoy it. Who are you becoming? That's what's important. Who are you becoming? You know? So, you got your pen and paper? You have plenty of time because I was doing a lot of rambling. Okay? So, the first thing I want you to write down on this note is, what is my number one thing for 2026 that I don't think that I can achieve, that I want to achieve? Okay? What's up? How you doing? Welcome in. It says, what is my thing for 2026? My one thing for 2026 that I don't think that I can achieve, that I want to achieve. Make it so big. Like, it's got to be such a big thought that you don't even believe you can actually get it. It's got to be such a big dream, such a big thing for you to obtain this year that you literally do not believe that it's possible for you to get it. Okay? You want to know mine? I wrote down, I want to make $1 million net pay, meaning after taxes, baby. Okay? $1 million. That is so possible. It's so possible. This physical life, it's actually really easy to attain these things. We're stuck up here. We're stuck in our bodies. We're not listening to our bodies, and we're not actually finding a way to help other people. Your blessings come when you find a way to solve other people's problems. And the way you're going to find that is by going and digging deep first, finding what you need, find out how you rescued yourself, because baby, nobody's coming to save you. When you find out how you did that, then you can share with the world. And guess what? You could share with the world what you create, anything you create, anything that you're good at. Okay? So your number one thing, this is number one. Guys, we have 3 things. Write it down. Write down, what is my number one thing for 2026 that I don't believe that I can achieve, that I want to achieve this year? Okay? Mine is make $1 million. Okay? So the way that I'm going to achieve that is not the way that the world really thinks that I'm going to achieve it. So I'm not focused on the thing, really. I'm not focused on the million. I'm focused on becoming a millionaire. Okay? How does a millionaire act? How do they show up? Number one, they show up on time. One thing that I started to do before the end of 2025 was I started to show up early for work. I don't like, the anxiety that I get when I'm not punctual, right? So I had to align with the highest version of me. The millionaire version of me will be early. I'm a security officer, mainly for holidays and when it's available hours. I'm very, very part-time right now. But I believe that is because God has me on like a pause right now, whatever. I'm working on finding out, what are you preparing me for in this season? Because I could easily just go, let me go get 3 other jobs and get this million. No. That's not the case. We need to not focus on the thing, but focus on ourselves. How do I operate? How do I become a millionaire here? Like, how do I be that? They got so many routines on YouTube. Oh, wake up at this time at 5 a.m. No, you find what works with you. You find what makes you get into your own flow state. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Number 2, write this down, y'all. What is my mini adventures? What are my mini adventures? Name 6 things. You can name more, but I put 6 minimum. Okay. So for example, I got 4 down right now. I'm going to get a passport and visit another country for the first time in my life. I'm 35 years old. I've never left the country. I've never left North America. I never even had a passport. Okay. I've traveled across my country, but that's what I want to do. I want to go overseas. I want to, number 2, I put visit a country on the continent of Africa specifically. Number 3, I put visit family at home in St. Louis. It's just a mini adventure because I haven't been at home. And here in North Carolina, in the state of North Carolina, I want to visit Charlotte. And honestly, because I want to see if maybe I could move there and live there one day. I don't know. Instead of Raleigh or Morrisville, where I've lived. So those are just 6 adventures that I want to do this year. I mean, that's actually 4. I didn't write down the last 2. I'm working on that. Okay. But write down at least 6 mini adventures. Name them, write them down, guys. Okay. That's number 2. All right. Number 3, 4 winning habits that I will have. Write that down. Number 3, 4 winning habits that I will have. Okay. Mine are, number 1, posting every day 3 times a day. And that means on the different, all of my platforms that I have. You know, TikTok, I stream on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and here YouTube. Okay. Oh, Snapchat isn't that important, but I do keep up with friends. So that's a good one. So yeah. So fasting with prayer is number 2. Number 3, I already told you guys this one for my winning habits, which was no sex, no drugs, or alcohol. Okay. Exercise and nutrition, plus vitamins and hydration, right? And then I wrote down on here, the process does not produce the promise. It is producing the version of you that can step into the promise, which is exactly what I meant by this first thing on the list, making $1 million. The process doesn't produce the promise. So it's not, oh, how many people can I hustle? Who can I know? Who can I get this? How can I get this? No, it's producing the version. The process of me getting to the $1 million is going to produce the version of me that can step into the promise. I got to be able to hold $1 million. What I'm going to do when I get it. Thank you so much, Keith. I appreciate it. You got this too, King. What are we going to do when we get the things that we cry all the time about? We have to become the version of ourselves that can step into that promise, right? So those are my things. If you missed it and you joined in on the live as I was speaking, it's going to be recorded so you can go back and look at it after it's, posted. It's going to take probably about an hour to actually repost, but process and, whatever. But I'm going to quickly tell you guys, my daughter's texting me. That's what was blowing me up, y'all. She's having dinner at her boyfriend's. His mom likes to cook dinner and stuff like that for her and stuff. So anyway, I dropped her off there after school and now I have to go back and pick her up. She said 7-ish, but now she's texting me like, I don't know. She's probably, wanting me to be on my way soon. But anyway, AFN podcast, Anxious for Nothing podcast, season 2 map. Okay. Anxious for Nothing is going to be talking about learning to trust yourself this season. Okay. So for this season 2, it's going to be another 8 or 10 episodes, between 8 to 10 episodes. Okay. And season 1 was about safety. Okay. Season 1 was about safety. Right. And do I support LGBTQ? Yes, I have friends that are LGBTQ, of course. So after we talked about safety, guess what's next? Season 2 is about self-trust after survival, okay? This season sounds like calm authority, lived wisdom, gentle leadership, and I've been there too energy, okay? Yes. Okay. Welcome in. I'm so glad that you guys are stopping in. I'm literally about to close this up because I'm like, I do not want this episode to be long, and we are going on 30 minutes right now. I got to go pick up my baby girl. She's not a baby girl. She's 16, almost grown. Huh, tear. But that is basically a little sneak peek into what season 2 is going to be looking like, guys. So I am actually going to be uploading on Mondays instead of Sundays. Last season I did Sundays, but I found that a lot of the episodes I was uploading on Monday. So what I'm going to do is use Sundays to prepare, right? Because Sundays are really, chill. And then on Monday, I'm going to have the new episode come up. So Yes, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys being here. Um, just be ready. Y'all get ready. Get ready. And I hope y'all wrote that down. Writing things down really, really makes a difference. I've looked back at so many journals and no, I'm straight, baby. I've looked at so many journals in the past where I've achieved so much. And that's part of the reason you gain confidence is because you wrote it down and you're like, dang, I really did a lot this year. Like, dang, I really did that. Like, I did what I said I was going to do. Like, you guys can really achieve anything you put your mind to. And I'm here to support you. Okay. I'm here to support you. So thank you again, guys, for tuning into the Anxious for Nothing podcast. If today's message spoke to you guys, share it with somebody, okay? Share it with somebody who needs it and leave a comment because then they may inspire somebody else to listen. If you like me, if you like the vibes, remember that you are guided, okay? You are protected and you are never walking alone. I'm your host, Cece, and I'll see y'all in the next episode, okay? God bless. Take care. Bye, guys.